Let's look up some people on the FBI's most wanted list. I'm a forensic psychology major, so this stuff is really interesting to me. I love all things true crime. So let's get started. This first guy is Robert William Fisher. He was born April 13th, 1961 in Brooklyn, New York. Let's see what he did. Why are you most wanted? Robert William Fisher is wanted for allegedly unaliving his wife and 2 young children and then blowing up the house in which they lived in Scottsdale, Arizona in April of 2001. This guy could definitely still be alive, so we need to be on the lookout for him and make sure justice is served. His occupation: surgical catheter technician, respiratory therapist, and fireman. Fisher is physically fit and is an avid outdoorsman, hunter, and fisherman. He may walk with an exaggerated, erect posture and his chest pushed out due to lower back injury. Fisher is known to chew tobacco heavily. He has ties to New Mexico and Florida. Fisher is believed to be in possession of several weapons, including a high-powered rifle. Okay, our next most wanted person, Rosemary Lorraine Godbout Mulder. I'm very surprised. She looks so nice. Like, what did you do, Rosemary? Okay, she was born July 29th, 1967, New Jersey, so she could definitely still be alive. Occupation: she was a police dispatcher. Rosemary is being sought for the unaliving of her 5-year-old stepson. On August 22nd, 1989, Rayshawn Omar Alexander was transported from his residence in Fort Bliss, Texas, to an Army medical center with injuries. Alexander was pronounced unalive on the same date by physicians at the medical facility. Additionally, examination of the victim disclosed numerous bruises throughout his body, which indicated a fractured skull and possible physical abuse. An autopsy later revealed that Alexander unalived as a result of extensive child abuse. Ew, Rosemary. Ugh. See, you can't trust people just based off of looks, because if you saw this woman in real life, she looks sweet as cherry pie. That is horrible. Okay, what's some more info on her? She has ties to Trenton, New Jersey, Fort Bliss, and El Paso, Texas. She's known to gamble. So our next person on the FBI most wanted list is Eugene Palmer. Eugene was born April 4th, 1939. So he might not even still be alive. He's also a male Aries, and that is a bad sign. Doesn't say anything about his occupation. Eugene Palmer is wanted for allegedly pew-pewing and unaliving his daughter-in-law on September 24th, 2012 in Stony Point, New York. After a local arrest warrant was issued for Palmer in Rockland County and he was charged with unaliving, a federal arrest warrant was issued on June 10th, 2013 by the United States Court for the Southern District of New York after Palmer was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Palmer is known to be interested in auto racing and is a car enthusiast. He also likes to hunt and he's an outdoorsman. Where are you, Eugene? Probably not alive anymore, but you never know. Okay, next on our FBI most wanted list, Jason Derek Brown. Why does this guy look so familiar? I can't tell if he looks familiar because, like, I've seen like a true crime thing on him before, or like, do I know this man? Like, okay, so we have 2 birthdays for this man. July 1st, 1969, or January 17th, 1971. He was born in California. His occupation: he was a golf equipment importer. Jason Derek Brown is wanted for unaliving an armed robbery in Phoenix, Arizona. During November of 2004, Brown allegedly pew-pewed and unalived an armored car guard outside a movie theater and then fled with the money. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I don't live there anymore, but now I'm like freaking out. Like, do I know this man? Or maybe I just have seen something on him. That guy looks so familiar though. That's so weird. Okay, Brown has ties to California, Arizona, and Utah. In the past, he has traveled to France and Mexico. Additionally, he may be in the possession of a Glock 9mm and a .45 caliber pew-pew. He could definitely still be alive too, based on his date of birth. So be on the lookout for Jason Derek Brown. Karis Ayala? Karis? Karis? I'm so sorry. She looks very sweet, so I am very interested to see what she did. Okay, so she was born September 5th, 1985, so she's pretty young. It doesn't say where she was born, and it doesn't say her occupation either. So let's keep going. What did she do? Karis is wanted for the unaliving of a 5-month-old boy in Sandy Springs, Georgia. On October 2nd, 2012, Ayala was babysitting for the boy in her apartment when she called authorities to report that the boy was unresponsive. He was transported by ambulance to Children's Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, where it was determined that he had suffered a severe head and brain injury and was placed on life support. After the baby was later removed from life support on October 26, 2012, he passed away. Whew! That is terrible. It says that Ayala may have ties to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico. She may be traveling with her husband, No Castillo Ramirez, and their young daughter in a black Toyota T100 pickup truck with Georgia license plates. You can't trust people based off of their looks. I'm just saying, this lady looks so freaking nice, and what she did was disgusting and despicable. Okay, moving on. Okay, our next person is Andrew P. Dabbs. Andrew was born December 10th, 1942 in Virginia, so he could definitely still be alive. His occupation was an auto mechanic, and let's see what he did. Andrew P. Dabbs is wanted for allegedly unaliving his girlfriend on October 10th, 1981. The couple was driving through Norton, Massachusetts from their apartment in Derry, New Hampshire when Dabbs allegedly pew-pewed the victim in the chest with a .45 caliber revolver and pushed her body out of the car onto the side of Route 123. On November 3rd, 1981, Dabbs was indicted for unaliving by the Bristol Superior Court in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and a state warrant was issued for his arrest. On September 20th, 1982, a federal arrest warrant was issued for Dabbs by a United States magistrate in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts after he was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Dabbs was known to use substances and may have possessed weapons in the past. His last known address is in Derry, New Hampshire, and he has ties in Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Massachusetts, and Colorado. Okay, our next person on the list is William Jr. Jordan. He was born September 18th, 1942 in Wadesboro, North Carolina, so he could definitely still be alive. He would just be old, like in his 80s. His occupation, heavy equipment operator. What did he do? William Jr. Jordan is wanted for the brutal unaliving of a man in Georgia. On March 6, 1974, James Rouse Jr. was taken hostage by Jordan and an accomplice and was forced to drive to a nearby lake. There, after walking into the woods, he was pew-pewed in the head with a shotgun. Jordan and the accomplice were arrested and in June of 1974 were convicted and sentenced to life in prison on charges of unaliving and armed robbery. On August 6, 1984, Jordan escaped from the Wayne Correctional Institution in Odom, Georgia, and has not been seen since that time. Woo! That is crazy that he escaped and has still not been found. It says Jordan has a tattoo of a skeleton on his right forearm, a spider on his right upper arm, a cross with the word Sybil in his left forearm, and the word Luis on his left leg. So, be on the lookout for this motherfucker. But he's like really old now, so he probably doesn't look like that anymore. Okay, next up we have Bob Tang. Bob was born May 2nd, 1969 in Cambodia, so could definitely still be alive based on the year he was born. It doesn't say what his occupation was, but let's see what he did. Bob Tang is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of a man in Alameda County, California on May 14th, 2017. It is alleged that Tang unalived the victim, dismembered the body, and then fled to his homeland of Cambodia. On November 2nd, 2017, a felony arrest warrant was issued for Tang in the county of Alameda, California, after he was charged with unaliving. On March 26, 2019, a federal arrest warrant was issued in the United States District Court, Northern District of California, San Francisco, California, after Tang was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. And there is a $10,000 reward if you find Mr. Tang. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, so first we have David Anthony Durham. David was born March 11th, 1967 in Oregon. It doesn't say what his occupation was. Okay, let's see what he did. David Anthony Durham is wanted for his alleged involvement in the pew-pewing of a police officer in Lincoln City, Oregon. At approximately 11 p.m. on January 23, 2011, the police officer pulled over an SUV for a traffic violation. During the traffic stop, the driver of the vehicle, later identified as Durham, pew-pewed the officer multiple times and critically wounded him. Durham then fled the area in the vehicle. Durham is known to possess survival skills. He was wearing full green camouflage at the time of his disappearance, as well as tan or dark boots and a dark colored beret. In the past, he has expressed a desire to travel or is believed to have traveled to California, the Caribbean, and Thailand. Next, we have Adriana Melendez. She was born March 24th, 1991. She was born in California, and it doesn't say what her occupation was. Adriana Melendez is wanted for her alleged involvement in an accident which caused the unaliving of a bicyclist. On the afternoon of March 26, 2014, oh my gosh, 2 days after her birthday, a bicyclist riding on a county road in an unincorporated part of Solano County, California, was struck and unalived by a vehicle. The driver of the vehicle fled the scene prior to the arrival of law enforcement. After a law enforcement investigation identified Melendez as the driver of the vehicle, a warrant was issued for her arrest by the Superior Court of Solano County, California on May 14, 2014, and she was charged with vehicular homicide and hit and run. A federal arrest warrant was issued for Melendez on April 11, 2017 in the United States District Court, Eastern District of California, Sacramento, California, after she was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. And they are offering a $10,000 reward for Miss Adriana. Okay, next we have Jimmy Cherizier. He was born March 30th, 1977 in Haiti. It does not say what his occupation was. Jimmy Cherizier, also known as Barbecue, BBQ, allegedly conspired with individuals in the United States, Haiti, and elsewhere to violate and cause violations of United States sanctions. Cherizier, a Haitian national and former officer in the Haitian National Police, is currently the leader of the gang alliance Viv and Sam. I don't know how to say that, but I'll make sure I spell it correctly. A federal arrest warrant was issued for Cherizier in the United States Court of the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., after he was charged with conspiracy to violate the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. They are offering a $5 million reward for information leading to finding this man. That is crazy. He's believed to be located back in Haiti. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, so first today we have Stephen Eugene Clifford. He was born November 22nd, 1953 in Sacramento, California. His occupation was a licensed chiropractor. Stephen Eugene Clifford is wanted for the alleged SA of 11 victims from 1998 through 2002. Clifford was a licensed chiropractor who operated an office in Carnelian Bay, California for several years. In January of 2002, he was arrested by the Placer County Sheriff's Department for SAing several of his patients, including a juvenile. A 17-count felony complaint was filed in February of 2002 in the Superior Court of California, County of Placer, alleging the SA charges. Clifford pleaded no contest to 3 of the counts, but failed to appear for his January 28, 2003 sentencing. On August 4, 2004, a federal unlawful flight to avoid prosecution complaint was obtained in the United States District Court based on the multiple state charges of SA. Clifford is known to enjoy boating, camping, and riding motorcycles, and there is a $10,000 reward if you find this man. Okay, this next guy, he was like giving me priest vibes, and I just knew that what he did was nasty before I even read it. So this is Murray Gordon Waller. He was born February 25th, 1947 in Mobile, Alabama. His occupation was probation program director. From 2001 to 2006, Murray Gordon Waller was the executive director of the Alabama Safety Institute Incorporation in Mobile. This was a court referral program that monitored young men placed on formal probation by the court. During this time, Waller made threats to a probationer who was under his direct supervision. The probationer was ordered to perform deviant schmex acts for and with Waller or go back to jail. Waller also used his home computer to find other men on the internet and had the probationer to meet them and determine their suitability for schmex acts. In March of 2006, Waller was indicted for extortion first degree and extortion second degree, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. On March 31st, 2006, sorry, my cat food dispenser is going off. Waller was arrested and released on bond. Waller appeared for his arraignment hearing in May of 2006. However, he failed to appear for his status hearing in August of 2006. Waller's status hearing was rescheduled for September 7th, 2006, but he failed to appear. Waller is believed to have fled from the United States to the Philippines. He enjoys visiting internet chat rooms. This guy is nasty. Okay, next we have Cesar Munguia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm so sorry. He was born July 18th, 1994 in Mexico, and it does not say what his occupation was. Cesar is wanted for his alleged involvement in the armed robbery of the Webster Bank located on McLean Avenue in Yonkers, New York, and the armed robbery of a bodega on Warburton Avenue in Yonkers, New York, both of which occurred on October 14th, 2014. Munguia is allegedly an associate of the Cruddy 650, a violent criminal street gang which is allegedly responsible for a pattern of bank robberies and commercial robberies in Yonkers and its surrounding neighborhoods in October and November of 2014. A federal arrest warrant was issued for Munguia on February 17, 2015, after he was indicted by a grand jury in the Southern District of New York for a conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery and firearms offenses. Munguia speaks Spanish and he has ties to Mexico. Okay, next we have Leslie Charles Dawson. To me, he's giving like dad vibes. So I was very interested to see what he did. He was born March 21st, 1946 in Illinois. His occupation is unknown. On January 31st, 1986, Leslie Charles Dawson was confined in an Oregon State Correctional Facility for 2 counts of rape in the first degree and 2 counts of sodomy in the first degree, both involving juveniles. On October 7th, 1986, he escaped from custody at the South Fork Forest Camp in Tillamook, Oregon. An order of arrest of an escaped prisoner was issued for Dawson on August 8, 1991 by the State of Oregon Department of Corrections. A federal arrest warrant charging Dawson with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution was issued on April 20th, 1999 in Portland, Oregon. Dawson has a military background in training. He may have altered his appearance using plastic surgery and hair dye. Dawson has ties to California, Louisiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and the Philippines. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, first we're starting with Glenn Stewart Godwin. We have 3 birthdays for this man. June 26, 1958, July 6, 1946, or October 4th, 1950. Based on his date of birth, he could definitely still be alive. He's from Miami, Florida, and his occupation was self-employed in tool supplies, mechanic, and construction worker. Glenn Stewart Godwin is being sought for his 1987 escape from Folsom State Prison in California, where he was serving a lengthy sentence for unaliving. Later in 1987, Godwin was arrested for smug trafficking in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. After being convicted, he was sent to a prison in Guadalajara. In April of 1991, Godwin allegedly unalived a fellow inmate and then escaped 5 months later. And there is a $20,000 reward for this man. And see, this is why you can't trust people, because this man is giving me like Ted Bundy vibes. Like, he's pretty handsome, but he's also pretty gross. So, moving on. Okay, next we have Luis Rosado. We have multiple birthdays for this man as well. August 24th, 1950, September 24th, 1950, or January 1st, 1949. Based on his date of birth, he could definitely still be alive, and he is from New York City. His occupation was cab driver, car salesman, Spanish affairs consultant, lab assistant, porter, and social worker. Okay, what was this man doing? And he was a social worker? Oh no. Okay. Luis Rosado, along with an accomplice, allegedly entered a car dealership in Highland Park, Illinois on December 10, 1980, and robbed the salesman at gunpoint. Rosado and his accomplice then allegedly bound the salesman and drove away with the stolen van from the dealership. Following a high-speed police chase, both were arrested and charged with armed robbery, kidnapping, theft, and aggravated battery. They were released on bond. However, Rosado failed to appear for his March of 1981 trial. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 if you find this man, so be on the lookout. It says he has ties to New York City and Puerto Rico and possibly Havana, Cuba. Okay, next we have Barry James Deemer. His birthday is December 16th, 1944, so he could definitely still be alive. He's from Pennsylvania. In his occupation, he's been known to sell items at flea markets, and they're usually knockoffs or fakes. All right, what did he do? Barry James Deemer is wanted for his alleged attempt to solicit an individual to assist in the unaliving of his ex-girlfriend in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, in late October of 1995. Deemer allegedly supplied an individual with an unregistered semi-automatic pistol and ammunition to be used in the unaliving of the woman. He plays multiple musical instruments, including the accordion. Interesting. He is known to frequent at auto and pew-pew shows as well as flea markets. He may travel to Carlisle, Pennsylvania and Covington, Kentucky to attend these shows. He may be traveling with his girlfriend, Sally Ann Suttle. She is a white female, date of birth October 29th, 1956. She may work as a nurse and has previously lived in Hawaii. She is not a fugitive from the law. Okay, next we have Timothy Thomas Coombs, and he looks really scary. Multiple birthdays for this man as well. Okay, I just like to know the exact zodiac sign, you know, because sometimes it just makes sense. Okay, February 21st, 1959, or July 7th, 1959. He is from Ocean County, New Jersey. His occupation was a tree planter and a volunteer firefighter. On September 16th, 1994, Timothy Thomas Coombs allegedly pew-pewed a Missouri highway trooper in the chest while the officer was standing in his rural Missouri home. Although the officer was seriously injured, he survived the attack. It is believed that the pew-pewing was in retaliation for the officer's arrest of a man who was acquaintance of Coombs. He is apparently very radical, anti-government, white beliefs, and is associated with the Christian identity movement. See, I was right when I told y'all that this man looked freaky. And they are offering a $100,000 reward if you find this man. Let's see who's on the FBI's most wanted list. I know I look like Miss Trunchbull right now. I just submitted my last final. I'm officially done with college, and this will probably be the only video I post today. I need to relax. Okay, but let's get into it. First, let's do Alvin Scott. We have two birthdays for Alvin, September 21st, 1950, or September 1st, 1950, and he was born in Turkey. Alvin Scott is wanted in connection with the unaliving of his estranged wife and her male companion in the Buckhead area of Atlanta, Georgia on August 3rd, 2001. Both victims were pew-pewed numerous times in both the torso and the head. On August 4th, 2001, a City of Atlanta arrest warrant was issued for Scott. Then, on August 7th, 2001, the United States District Court, Northern District of Georgia, issued a federal arrest warrant for Scott, charging him with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Scott is a naturalized citizen of the United States who may be traveling on a U.S. passport back to his native homeland of Turkey, and there is a $20,000 reward if you find this man. Okay, next we have Danny Liggett. He was born August 17th, 1949 in Springfield, Illinois. Danny Liggett is wanted for the unaliving of a man in New York City, Manhattan, on May 7th, 1987. On that date, Liggett was taken by a female acquaintance to an apartment to see a man about selling a piece of jewelry. During that meeting, Liggett allegedly used a sharp object to attack both the man who was physically impaired and in a wheelchair, as well as the female acquaintance. Liggett allegedly stabbed the man until he was unalived, and then threatened to unalive the woman who survived the attack if she reported him to law enforcement. Liggett was raised in Des Moines, Iowa, and received his Doctor of Education in 1983 from a university in Massachusetts. He worked conducting management training seminars for employees of large companies. He has ties to Hoboken, New Jersey, New York, Des Moines, Iowa, Springfield, Illinois, Gainesville, Georgia. He may have fled the United States and traveled to Southeast Asia, specifically the Philippines, or to the northern region of Canada. There is a $25,000 reward if you find him. Next we have Edgardo Luis Perez. He was born May 19th, 1982 in Detroit, Michigan. Edgardo Luis Perez is wanted for his alleged involvement in an unaliving which occurred in Farmington Hills, Michigan. The victim was a 56-year-old male who Perez reportedly befriended at a health club. Within a few weeks, Perez had gained the victim's trust and was invited to his home. Reportedly, during a phone conversation on October 20th, 2001, the victim told his roommate that he was going to spend the day with Perez. This was the last known contact with the victim. It is alleged that Perez may have befriended the victim with the intent of stealing his identification and money for the purpose of fleeing the country. Reportedly, Perez feared he was going to be incarcerated for a probation violation. Perez has ties to Indiana, Michigan, Puerto Rico, and Tijuana, Mexico. Additionally, it was reported that he had a collection of books on how to be a fugitive, how to do money transactions over the internet, and how to change identity and create fake identifications and documents. Okay, next we have Kevin Lamont Carter. Kevin was born April 5th, 1972 in Selma, Alabama. Kevin Lamont Carter, a convicted felon, is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of his girlfriend, Angela Marshall, in Selma, Alabama. On March 25, 1995, Carter allegedly drove to Marshall's residence, called her to come to his car, and pew-pewed her several times when she approached him. The day before this unaliving, Carter was released from jail after completing an 18-month sentence for rape. Carter has a pierced ear. He allegedly has ties to Fort Wayne, Indiana, Ohio, and Florida. And the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward if you find this man. Let's see who's on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, first we're starting with Thane Allen Smicka. He was born February 27th, 1959 in North Dakota. Thane Allen Smicka is wanted for an unaliving which occurred on August 1st, 1983. On that day, police officers responded to an incident at an apartment complex in Boulder, Colorado. A male victim was found in his apartment lying on the living room floor with a pew-pew shot wound to his head. The victim was identified as Smicka's roommate. In October 1986, in Beverly Hills, California, Smicka's car was found empty and abandoned with a stolen license plate. And the FBI is offering a $10,000 reward if you find this man. Okay, next we have Santino Mario Garcia. We have two birthdays for him, April 7th, 1984 or March 26th, 1986. He was born in Sacramento, California. And you might hear my dog chewing on her bone. She's right next to us. Santino Mario Garcia is wanted in Sacramento County, California for his alleged involvement in the pew-pewing unaliving of a man during a game of dominoes on August 26, 2007. An arrest warrant was issued for Garcia by the California Superior Court, County of Sacramento, on August 27, 2007, after he was charged with homicide. A federal arrest warrant was issued by the United States District Court, Eastern District of California, Sacramento, California, on November 27, 2007. Garcia is a validated Del Paso Heights Nortino gang member. He has ties to Mexico and may be living there, although he is not known to speak Spanish. And the FBI is offering a $20,000 reward if you find this man. Okay, next we have Joe Matthew Constance. We have two birthdays for him as well, July 27th, 1967 or February 27th, 1967. He was born in Louisiana. Joe Matthew Constance, a convicted felon, is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of his estranged wife in Calcasieu Parish, Louisiana. I know I'm not saying that right, y'all. On June 5th, 2011. It is alleged that Constance forcefully entered his estranged wife's residence, confronted other occupants of the residence, threatened to pew-pew two of the occupants, and physically assaulted another one while demanding to know the location of his estranged wife. When Constance located his estranged wife in another area of her residence, he allegedly pew-pewed and unalived her and fled the area. The FBI is offering a $30,000 reward if you find this man. Okay, next we have Charles Lee Hill. This looks like somebody's sweet grandfather, so I'm intrigued to find out what he did. We have two birthdays for him as well, December 15th, 1949 or October 4th, 1950. He was born in Olney, Illinois. On November 8th, 1971, Hill was allegedly involved in the pew-pewing unaliving of a New Mexico State police officer during a traffic stop approximately 15 miles west of Albuquerque, New Mexico. On November 27, 1971, Hill and two accomplices, believed to now be deceased, allegedly also kidnapped a tow truck driver at Pew Pew Point and forced him to drive the trio to the Albuquerque International Airport. The three men are allegedly then to have hijacked a Trans World Airlines flight, rerouting the plane to Tampa, Florida. Wow. After exchanging the hostages for fuel, Hill and his accomplices flew to Havana, Cuba. That is a crazy story. And there's no reward if you find him, but we're probably never going to find this guy. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, so this is Eric Christian Moeller. I can already tell by looking at this guy that he did something heinous and despicable. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but we're all thinking the same thing, okay? Alrighty, so this guy was born June 24th, 1967 in Arcadia, California. His occupation was aviation fuel business. Eric Christian Moeller, a convicted PDF is wanted for failing to appear for sentencing in San Luis Obispo, California in 2003. Between the years of 1997 and 2000, Moeller was entrusted to care for his female victim on almost a weekly basis while she was ages 10 through 14. He gave the girl illegal substances and alcohol prior to the assault. On December 18, 2002, Moeller was convicted of 2 counts of lewd act upon a child. Moeller was released on bail until sentencing. On March 18, 2003, Moeller failed to appear for sentencing related to the lewd act upon a child conviction. Moeller was sentenced in absentia to 10 years in state prison. On March 19, 2003, a felony bench warrant was issued for Moeller after he was charged with failure to appear. Moeller may have traveled to Miami, Florida, to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic in 2003. Moeller is also known to have ties to Denmark. It doesn't say if there's a reward if you find this nasty piece of crap. We have Lawrence William Fishman. He was born August 29th, either 1951 or 1947. He was born in Washington, D.C. Occupation, it says he worked as a lawyer, cab driver, researcher, lobbyist, writer, and poet. Lawrence William Fisher is wanted in connection with the unaliving of his father. On November 28, 1980, Fishman allegedly entered the home of his parents in Silver Spring, Maryland, and after speaking briefly to them, pew-pewed his mother in the neck and his father in the back. His father, who was pew-pewed 4 times, passed away at the scene, and his mother recovered from her wounds. After the crime, Fishman went to Virginia, where he allegedly disposed of the unaliving weapon and then disappeared. After a local arrest warrant was issued charging Fishman with unaliving, a complaint was filed in the United States District Court for the District Court of Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, on January 5th, 1981, charging Fishman with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Fishman suffers from a severe mental illness which may require immediate professional care. He has ties to Maryland, Virginia, Connecticut, Wisconsin, England, and Israel. Fishman once expressed an interest in traveling to South America and is reported to prefer warmer climates. And it does not say if there's a reward if you find this man. Okay, next we have Ricky Vargas. His birthday is July 18th, 1988. It does not say where he was born or his occupation. Ricky Vargas, a known member of the Latin Kings, is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of a man outside of a bar in Garfield, New Jersey during the early morning hours of February 4th, 2024. Wow, so this is recent. This man was stabbed to unaliving. On February 5th, 2024, Vargas was charged with first-degree unaliving, causing serious bodily injury and leaving the scene of a crime, possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose, and possession of a weapon in the Garfield City Municipal Court in Bergen County, New Jersey, and a state warrant was issued for his arrest. Vargas has ties to East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Winter Park, Florida, Chicago, Illinois, Arizona, and Puerto Rico. He does not have a valid driver's license, and he may use ride-sharing apps and mass transit to travel. He may reside in homeless shelters, and there is a $15,000 reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Gretchen Francine Tennyson. She looks like a Karen. Let's see what she did. Gretchen was born November 7th, 1977. It doesn't say where she was born, and it doesn't say her occupation. Gretchen Francine Tennyson and her husband, Larry Keith Tennyson, are wanted for the alleged involvement in the SA of a minor child, which occurred between approximately August of 2018 and April of 2019 in Pryor, Oklahoma. On May 20th, 2021, a federal arrest warrant was issued for Gretchen and Larry in the United States District Court, Northern District Court of Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, after they were both charged with SA of a minor in Indian country. Gretchen Francine Tennyson has ties to Pryor and Sapulpa, Oklahoma, and Athens and Brownsboro, Texas. She is known to change her hair color often with various dyes. She is heavily involved in online communities. Her hobbies include the production of art. I'm in Texas, so I'm gonna be looking out for this bitch. And of course, she's involved in the online communities. I told y'all she looks like a Karen. So look for her on your local Facebook marketplace if you're in the South, okay? Let's look up more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, first we have Vanessa O'Rourke. It doesn't say where she was born or her occupation, but she was born July 14th, 1988. Vanessa O'Rourke is wanted for allegedly fraudulently representing to her family and friends that she had been diagnosed with a terminal form of brain cancer and told them that she needed money to aid in her medical treatment and to support her while she was ill. Between October of 2015 and July of 2016, O'Rourke further represented to family and friends that she needed to travel to Australia to participate in an experimental treatment for her purported cancer. Sorry, I don't know what purported means. Okay. Through her false and fraudulent pretenses, her family and others provided money and support. In or around April of 2016, O'Rourke traveled to Australia, where she engaged in a variety of leisure activities and did not receive any medical treatment. Upon her return to the United States, O'Rourke enlisted her friends and family to organize 2 fundraisers on her behalf. A webpage was established and a benefit event held at a local restaurant in Pennsylvania both resulting in numerous people providing donations for her purported cancer treatment. O'Rourke utilized those funds to travel to Australia again in or around 2016, where she again engaged in various leisure activities and received no medical treatment for her non-existent illness. O'Rourke was indicted on 15 counts of wire fraud in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania on May 3, 2018, and a federal warrant was issued for her arrest. Damn, that is crazy. Next, we have Gregory Robert Whitehead. He was born May 18th, 1962 in California, and it does not say what his occupation was. In October of 2007, Gregory Whitehead allegedly lured 2 young girls to his home under the ruse of using them for house cleaning services. It was reported to the Colorado Springs Police Department that 2 teenage girls were SA'd by Whitehead. While at his Denver home, Whitehead allegedly served the girls alcohol, took inappropriate and graphic photos of them, and paid them for their schmexual favors. It says Whitehead may wear contact lenses or glasses. Okay, next we have William Willingham. He was born June 21st, 1961 in Memphis, Tennessee. His occupation was welder and tractor driver. William Willingham is wanted for kidnapping and rape in Tate County, Mississippi. On December 22, 1998, Willingham is alleged to have tied up his girlfriend in her bedroom at her residence and proceed to the next room to rape her daughter. Willingham's girlfriend managed to free herself and went to the aid of her daughter. However, Willingham allegedly brandished a knife and forced his girlfriend back into her room. He then returned to the room of his girlfriend's daughter and allegedly continued to rape her. Willingham soon fled the residence. On March 4th, 1999, Willingham was indicted by a Tate County, Mississippi grand jury for statutory rape and kidnapping. A federal arrest warrant was subsequently issued after Willingham was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. He has ties to Memphis, Tennessee. He may travel to Arkansas and Alabama, and he is a heavy drinker and substance user. And he is known to carry a knife. And there is a $10,000 reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Ulysses Omar Felix. He was born December 1st, 1978 in Mexico, and it doesn't say what his occupation was. On September 6, 2011, Ulysses Omar Felix and his male accomplice allegedly participated in a violent home invasion robbery in San Miguel County, Colorado. The subjects were heavily armed and allegedly stole numerous items from the home. During the robbery, the victims were assaulted and held hostage for 12 hours. Felix's accomplice during the crime has since been incarcerated. And it says that Felix may have fled to Arizona or Mexico with his 2 young boys. And it does not say if there is a reward if you find this guy. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, first we have William Bradford Bishop Jr. He was born August 1st, 1936 in Pasadena, California, and his occupation was United States Government Foreign Service Officer. William Bradford Bishop Jr. is wanted for allegedly bludgeoning to unaliving his wife, 37, and his mother, age 68, and 3 sons, ages 5, 10, and 14, in Bethesda, Maryland, on March 1st, 1976. He then allegedly transported their bodies to Columbia, North Carolina, where he buried the bodies in a shallow grave and lit them on fire. In March of 1976, Bishop was charged locally with unaliving by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office in Rockville, Maryland, and then charged federally with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. It says he's an avid outdoorsman, camper, and hiker. He has camping experience in Africa. He also enjoyed canoeing, fishing, swimming, jogging, tennis, skiing, and riding motorcycles. And yeah, he has ties to Africa, and it doesn't say if there is a reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Joseph Matos. He was born September 9th, 1982 in Illinois, and it does not say what his occupation was. Joseph Matos, also known as Troubles, is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of a National Guard member in the Belmont Crane neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois on July 3, 2021. The victim had just graduated from basic training and was walking to his car after leaving a party over the 4th of July weekend when he was alleged to have been pew-pewed and unalived by Matos and a fellow gang member. Matos is believed to be a member of the Milwaukee Kings, and there is a $25,000 reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Rex C. Reichert. He was born September 16th, 1945 in Ohio, and his occupation says he was employed as a technician in a recording studio. Rex C. Reichert is wanted for the alleged sexual abuse of 2 juvenile males, ages 14 and 10, over a 2-year period at his apartment in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Reichert had cared for the boys while a relative was receiving medical treatment. The boys also visited him on weekends and accompanied him on camping trips. On September 28, 1990, Reichert was charged with criminal attempt with intent to commit the crime of involuntary deviant sexual acts, criminal solicitation with the intent of promoting or facilitating the commissions of the crime of involuntary sexual acts, indecent assault, corruption of a minor, and endangering the welfare of children. In Collegeville, Pennsylvania, there was a warrant issued for his arrest, and he obviously fled to avoid prosecution. He is skilled in electronics, specifically musical equipment, and he wears wire-rimmed glasses and has his hair in a ponytail the last time they saw him. He has ties to Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, Canada, and Europe. And it does not say if there is a reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Gerald C. Dunning. He was born December 7th, 1959 in Michigan. His occupation was a ship and boat builder. Gerald C. Dunning is wanted for his alleged involvement in lewd activities with a child under the age of 16 in St. Petersburg, Florida from 1996 to 1998. Dunning was arrested on October 14th, 1998, and subsequently released on bond. His trial was scheduled for June 29th, 1999, but he failed to appear in court. He has experience building boats. He enjoys outdoor activities. He has ties to Florida, Tennessee, but he may have fled the United States to Brazil. It says he has a scar above his left eye, and there is no reward if you find this guy. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, first we have Jeffrey Dean McDaniel. He was born March 14th, 1967. It does not say where he was born, but his occupation was in the computer industry. Jeffrey Dean McDaniel is wanted in Placer County, California for his alleged repeated SA with his minor female relative. The girl was 13 years old at the time. In September of 1998, McDaniel left the area with the girl, and her whereabouts remained unknown until she was located in Mexico in September of 2000. According to the girl, McDaniel had traveled with her throughout California and Nevada before ending up in Mexico. McDaniel continued to SA the girl, which resulted in a pregnancy. McDaniel's whereabouts remain unknown. On February 28, 2001, an arrest warrant was issued for McDaniel after he was charged with child custody deprivation. McDaniel may be living in Mexico, and he may be interested in tattoo artistry. And it does not say if there is a reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Gustavo Cruz. He looks creepy. Like, real creepy. Ew. He was born October 27th, 1975 in Veracruz, Mexico, and his occupation is migrant worker. Gustavo Cruz is wanted for allegedly essaying an 11-year-old child and recording the alleged essay on his cell phone in Indianapolis, Indiana, from January 1st, 2016 to March 29th, 2017. It does not say if there's a reward, but it does say that he is believed to be residing in Mexico. Okay, next we have Dennis Cunningham. He was born September 15th, 1969 in New Jersey, and it does not say what his occupation was. Dennis M. Cunningham, a convicted felon, is wanted for his alleged involvement in the pew-pewing unaliving of a man in Irvington, New Jersey on May 12, 2017. Cunningham was charged with unaliving, unlawful possession of a pew-pew by a convicted felon, and robbery by the state of New Jersey on June 15, 2017, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Cunningham has ties to Irvington in Newark, New Jersey, and Easton, Pennsylvania, and it does not say if there is a reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Dennis St. John Rodriguez Jr. He was born March 28, 1979 in New York, and his occupation was a barber. Dennis is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of a man in 2016 in Hillsborough County, Florida. On December 22, 2017, a federal arrest warrant was issued by the United States District Court for the Middle District of Florida after Rodriguez was charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of Rodriguez. It also says he is a member of the Latin Kings, and he may have fled to Celaya, Mexico, and is possibly working as a barber. Let's look up some people on the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted list. So I've been looking up people on the FBI's Most Wanted list, and I stumbled across the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted list, and it seems like the people on the Marshals list are like way worse than the FBI's Most Wanted list. I don't know, it seems like the people on the Marshals list did like way worse things, so that's just what I'm thinking. Okay, first we have David Allen Boness. He's been wanted since 2013. His birthday is February 24th, 1968, and he is wanted in South Dakota. On December 22nd, 2008, a 17-year-old girl told her mother that Boness had been essaying her since she was 12 years old. Based on this information, authorities brought in Boness for questioning and a DNA sample. Boness stopped the interview and was allowed to leave. When police obtained a search warrant the next day for Boness, he had allegedly fled the area. Well, duh. Why did y'all let him leave? That's crazy to me. Of course he was going to flee. Anyway, there's a $25,000 reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Lester Eubanks. He's been wanted since 1973, and his birthday is October 31st, 1943, and he is wanted in Ohio. Lester Eubanks is wanted by the Ohio Adult Parole Authority for escape. In December 1973, Eubanks walked away from the custody of the Ohio Department of Corrections while on a temporary honor furlough to go Christmas shopping. At the time of his escape, Eubanks was serving a life sentence for the November 1965 unaliving and attempted rape of 14-year-old Mary Ellen Diener. Eubanks had previously been sentenced with the unaliving penalty, but the sentence was commuted to life in prison without parole in 1972. Why would you give this guy furlough? Once again, you just let somebody go who's done something extremely heinous and disgusting. Of course he was going to flee. Anyway, there's a $50,000 reward if you find this guy. Okay, next we have Tamara Williams. Tamara Williams was born March 18th, 1979, and she is wanted in Wayne County, Michigan. The United States Marshals Service is requesting assistance in locating 44-year-old Tamara Williams. Williams is wanted by the Melvindale, Michigan Police Department for first-degree unaliving, the taking apart of a person. I have to say certain words on here, okay? I don't want to get my video taken down. But you know what I mean, right? Okay. Tampering with evidence and felony pew-pew. Williams allegedly pew-pewed her boyfriend, then took apart him and discarded of him along I-75 near Hancock, Ohio. Williams is a trained phlebotomist and may be working in medical clinics. And there is a $25,000 reward if you find her. Okay, next we have Daryl Brown. Daryl Brown's birthday is February 3rd, 1974, and he is wanted in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Brown is wanted for the unaliving of his girlfriend and her niece, which occurred in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2019. Both victims were pew-pewed multiple times. Brown is believed to have fled Michigan immediately after the unalivings. Investigators believe Brown is receiving assistance to continue to elude the authorities. And there is a $25,000 reward if you find this guy. Let's look up some more people on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, first we have this guy, and don't you come after me for not knowing how to pronounce that first name. I'm gonna try my best. Okay, so first we have Mtayari Dixon. Again, I do not know if I'm saying that correctly, so I do apologize. It does not say where he was born or what his occupation was, but his birthday is December 20th, 1992. He looks a lot older than that to me, but anyway. Dixon is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of a man on October 26, 2002 in New Rochelle, New York. Dixon is alleged to have pew-pewed the man after the two were involved in a verbal altercation. After the unaliving, it is believed that Dixon boarded a train and went to Stamford, Connecticut. He then may have boarded a bus to Atlanta, Georgia, and then traveled on to Charlotte, North Carolina. So he has ties to Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Stamford, Connecticut, and New Rochelle, New York. And there is a $10,000 reward if you find this guy or have any information. Okay, next we have Saul Aguilar Jr. He was born August 14th, 1970 in Los Angeles, California, and his occupation was construction. Saul Aguilar Jr. is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of his ex-girlfriend in Los Angeles, California. In December of 1997, the victim was found in her home with a pew-pew wound to her upper torso. And he is heavily into substances, specifically the kind from Breaking Bad. And he has ties to Mexicali, Mexico. And the FBI is offering a reward of $5,000. All right, next we have Francisco Martinez. He was born in Ecuador on October 23rd, 1961. And his occupation was warehouse worker, textile worker, and production manager. Francisco Martinez is wanted for allegedly pew-pewing to the point of unaliving his employer in Passaic, New Jersey on September 14th, 2001. The victim was pew-pewed execution style in the basement of a building in which they both worked. The two men had allegedly been arguing that day after the victim confronted Martinez about his possible involvement in both a fire which was set at the business in August of 2001, as well as the ongoing theft of textile materials from the business. Local arrest warrants charging Martinez with unaliving, possession of a pew-pew for an unlawful purpose, and unlawful possession. And there is a $25,000 reward if you find this guy or have any information. Okay, next we have Jesus Jose Astorga. He was born November 17th, 1977 in Durango, Mexico. It does not say what his occupation was. Jesus is wanted for his alleged involvement in the unaliving of a man by using a sharp object at his place of residence in Shafter, California on October 15th, 1999. I can't speak. Sorry. After the unaliving, he likely fled to Mexico. And it says that he has ties to Sonora and Durango, Mexico. And the FBI is offering a $20,000 reward if you find this guy or have information leading to his arrest.